Hey, what's going on, guys? Absolutely Beast, bringing you some more racing from Forza Motorsport 7. There's a couple more races that I have. This is with the first one's with the Golf R, and this is actually Maple Valley, which is one of the tracks that's making a return. The moment I got on this track, I mean, it's a familiar track to me because I raced it a lot in like Forza 2, but just felt very familiar once I got back here and got in here, which is pretty sick. So, thank you guys for checking this one out. I hope you've been enjoying my Forza 7 content as much as I've been playing it, as much as I've enjoyed playing it. Probably not likely because I'm enjoying it extremely a lot. I'm having a ton of fun playing it. Unfortunately, I didn't get as much time to play today as I did yesterday, but that's to be expected. So yeah, I'm just still grinding, still working my way up to be able to buy the Renault RS17, the F1 car. I have to hit a collector level of 8,000. Not the level, but I have to reach a collector score of 8,000, and I think right now I'm almost at 3,000 or 4,000. I'm about halfway there, which means it should take me 15 to 20 hours total before I'm able to unlock that, but I can't wait for that. So in the meantime, I'm just working my way through all the different series. I just completed another racing series in the second section. So I've completed I completed everything that I can in the first section, and then now the second section. I have to wait until I reach collector level 4 before I can go back and do one of the other races in the previous championship. But I'm working the second championship right now, and this is from I think this might be the first. Don't think so. This is actually in the older championship. So anyway, yeah. So I was actually really surprised how well this car drives. Something that seems apparent in this game already. I don't know if it's just me or if it's just the game itself. I keep thinking something's wrong because the cars feel a lot easier to drive. The lower level cars, at least, feel a lot easier to drive than I'm used to. So I keep checking the assist to make sure that everything's, the way I like it. But one of the other weird things is, they talked a lot about the homologation, which was talking about, making the races fair for everybody. And I almost wish there was something like that in the career because I'm having to change my drive avatar difficulty all up and down and over the place. Some cars I'm putting on expert, pro, which is the second highest level. There's only one higher than that. Some of them I'm on pro and I'm still beating the drive avatars, and I could probably bump it up to unbeatable, and as long as I get a good start to the race, I'd probably be okay. But then some of the other ones I have to bump it down to 40%, which is it's not even pro or expert, it's like highly skilled. So I'm way down there. So it's like highly skilled is 40%. I think above average is 20%. Highly skilled is 40%. Expert is 60%. Pro is 80%. And then unbeatable is 100% bonus for your credit. So I'm trying to keep it at 80. But a lot of these car classes, like for whatever reason, I go through and I pick the cars. Like the one I just did, I bought a Mercedes, an AMG Mercedes, because that was one of the cars I could buy. And there was like an Audi, which I really wanted to buy, but didn't have very good top speed. And I figured I'd rather have a car with a little more speed, as long as the handling stuff and acceleration were the same, and the higher speed would probably do better for me. So I went and compared them for a minute or two, ended up on the Mercedes, and the very first race that I do with that thing, they're just ripping away from me. The guys are just flying away from me, just walking away, and I couldn't catch them. And so I had to bump it down to 60%, and then, which is the expert level, and then even still, I still wasn't able to beat him, so I had to bump it down again. So it's like, it's really weird to me. There's so much variance in these cars. I mean, I'm a pretty decent driver, and I know most of the tracks. So it's just weird to me that some of these cars, like this car, I mean, look how far out in front I am with this thing. I mean, look at that. That's ridiculous. And this is I think this was on 60%, so this is on expert. And, they're not even close, and I'm making mistakes, and I'm just dominating them. And for whatever reason, it's totally fine. And then as soon as I go to another class and I start it with it, it's not working. So I don't know. It's very inconsistent in that regard. And I guess Forza 6 was a little bit like that too when I was playing through the career. And I don't know why they do that. I don't know why there's so much variance. Like if they give you 5 cars to choose from, they should all be relatively competitive. And when I compare them by stats and pick the one that I think is going to be competitive, and then it's not, it's just really frustrating. So, and then this one is with the Ford Raptor racing truck, as you'll see. And sort of the same story with this one. This thing's really fast, so it was much faster than all these other cars. And Alps here, which we're racing on, it's my first time racing Alps in a long time. This is actually one of the better tracks for a car like this because it's actually much faster of a track. So these Baja trucks and stuff, like that Rockstar one next to me, are not going to be doing very well. And this thing just flies. Like when I get going down the hill, I'm just flying. You can hear that supercharger whine and everything. So, but yeah, I mean, this one's kind of floaty, as you see when I'm turning like that. The back is sort of stepping out just slightly, but it doesn't really affect the turning. And then like that, like I still had full grip, even though the back seems like it's floating a little bit. And this thing, I mean, it was driving really well. And actually, that car right next to me right there is a Mini, I believe. It's like a Mini X Journeyman or something like that. I actually had a chance to get that for free earlier on out of a car bonus thing, and that was before I realized how the collector thing works, so I passed up on it and took credits instead, which is kind of frustrating, because I could have had it to race in this series, but that's okay. It looks like it wasn't doing all that well anyway. So basically what I'm doing is I'm kind of just recording the first race, or sometimes the second race if it's interesting with these cars. So I'm not going to record a bunch of gameplay with the same cars. I want to try and give some variety for you guys so you can kind of see what we're working with here in the game. So I'm just trying to mix it up as much as possible. And I thought a camo was fitting on this thing, and then this is a good looking truck. The camo, I'm not a huge fan of the camo. That's just the paint I put on there because I thought it fit the car, but but the truck itself, the looks are awesome. It looks really good. See, like right there, I thought for sure I hit that wall on the right, but something about the truck just kind of floats a little bit. It just has a real weird feel to it. But like I said, it's for some reason, it seems like these lower level cars are easier to drive. It seems like they have more grip. And I'm not really sure why. I've messed with everything that I can, and it doesn't seem to make much of a difference. So I'm really enjoying the game, guys, a lot. It's a ton of fun. One of the tracks that I did with the Mercedes, which you'll probably see in the next few days, this Mercedes I was talking about that wasn't doing very well, I actually got a lap time that would have put me in like top 35 if I'd cleaned it up, but it was dirty. I don't know if I scraped somebody somewhere, if I scraped a wall or something. If it was just a simple like draft or just a quick scrape on a guy, that's no big deal. But you know, if I had scraped a wall or if I went off the track or something like that, then I potentially lost a second or more, which means I might have even been able to be like top 25 on that track if I cleaned it up. I considered going back and re-racing it a couple of times, but I was just, you know, it was on Dubai reverse, but I just felt like, you know, that was the race that I had to do 3 times. That's why I was so fast at it, because I had to do it 3 freaking times, trying to pass the. Look at that! Look how much it just darkened right there, with the shadow going behind the sun going behind the mountain. Isn't that crazy? And then you pop back out and there's the sheen again on the dashboard. It's really sick. I mean, the graphics on this game look really good. As I've said yesterday, I cannot wait, or the day before also, I can't wait to get the 4K upgrade on the Xbox One X. I can't wait. From what I've seen, you know, one of the things that's an issue with the consoles, and I never really understood it until I started getting into the PC crowd, is that it's basically, see, like that, I thought I hit that wall for sure. It's anti-aliasing, which basically smooths out the picture and makes the edges sharper. There's a lot of bleed and a lot of shimmer on this game, where, you know, especially like when the races start and stuff, you're just sort of you know, there's just these jagged edges and it looks like everything's shimmering. Like, for example, I use the example of a fence because there's a lot of races where a fence is at the beginning, like a starting fence, and as you're driving or as you're panning across, you know, for the like racing grid, it shimmers, you know, like it's just not quite clear. And I understand that's a graphical limitation on the Xbox, and from everything I've seen with the Xbox One X, even the 4K footage from E3, there was no shimmer like that. And I know that's one of the benefits of running a higher, being able to run higher anti-aliasing, which is something that the console can't do and maintain the thing. And, you know, everything they do is to maintain the 60 frames a second. So they're going to cut, you know, where they can and make what fine-tune adjustments they can in order to get to, you know, the mark they need to hit. So I just can't wait for that, because the game already looks really good. Like one of the videos I put up where I was racing on Suzuka in the rain, I think it was the first video I put up from the game. I mean, this looked ridiculous. The way the rain was sheening off the track, the way you can see the reflection of everything, like the Ferris wheel and all that in the track, it just looked beautiful. And I've talked a few times about the sky. I mean, look at that sky. It's so much better looking than anything we've seen in previous games to this, at least in this genre. I mean, there's clouds in the sky, there's different clouds in the sky, the sun's almost setting, you know, it's just really, really sick. So, anyway, guys, thank you for checking this out. I appreciate it. If you like my content, subscribe. I have plenty more coming your way. I've uploaded a couple of videos already from the actual full game. You can check those out on my channel, the last few videos. And then also, I will be uploading more stuff again tomorrow and every day this week, trying to get some new stuff up. So yeah, And I do have a PC on the way, so my quality should improve as far as mic and editing type stuff should improve here within the next few weeks. So I'm making the leap there. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. Make sure you check back soon. Check back again tomorrow. See you another time. Thanks.